Every night we face a profound cosmic riddle. For 8 hours, our personal reality simply ceases to exist. Think about the last time you fell into a truly deep sleep. You close your eyes, you have a few fleeting thoughts, and then, snap, time vanishes. It feels like mere seconds pass before the alarm goes off. It was 11 p.m., and now it's suddenly 7 a.m. 8 hours of reality simply vanished. This is one of the greatest mysteries of human existence. When your body is just lying there, breathing, why does your subjective experience of time disappear? Where does that core awareness, your consciousness, go when the body is truly resting? This isn't about simple dreams, this is about deep sleep. The time when your body is performing its vital maintenance. But what if your consciousness needs maintenance too? Today, we're diving into a thought experiment that aligns with the Great Eraser and the Master Consciousness web theory from our last video. The idea that during deep sleep, your soul temporarily detaches and goes home, and your dreams are nothing more than the messy, beautiful residue of its re-entry. We know the brain is still active during sleep. It's cycling through stages. But when you are in that deepest non-REM phase, your personal observing self is essentially offline. If you wake someone up in this stage, they are disoriented, confused, and need several seconds to fully redock with this reality. This confusion isn't just because they were resting. It's because the emotional or contextual memories brought back from the repair state fade instantaneously. For several seconds, consciousness is adjusting back to the reality of the physical body, and that brief window is where the disorientation comes from. This phenomenon, the vanishing of time, is the first clue. If your consciousness were still tethered strictly to the brain, every second would be processed, even passively. The fact that 8 hours can feel like a finger snap suggests that the entity that perceives time, your unique consciousness, was operating on a profoundly different frequency, disconnected from the ticking clock of this dimension. It had temporarily left the physical vessel. This separate state operates on a vibration or frequency so fundamentally distinct from our waking reality that the dense physical brain is simply incapable of processing or logging the experience. So if your soul or awareness detaches during deep sleep, where does it go? We can speculate it returns to the source, the Master Consciousness web. However, it doesn't fully merge. Instead, it connects to, let's call it, the consciousness repair frequency. This frequency is a separate but linked resting state, and the entire consciousness shift is near instantaneous, yet fully bounded to the current physical form. In this state, your consciousness is running a system test, operating in a universal resting frequency. It's a time to clean out the data packets and ensure the integrity of the soul. Crucially, while separate, this frequency has indirect access to the universal memory linked to your soul, allowing your essence to learn. And here's where the link to your past lives appears. When your consciousness is in this repair state, it's connected to this universal source, giving it temporary, partial access to the entire history of its existence, all of your past lives. It's like being in the main server room. You see data from every previous login. This process allows your consciousness to re-experience similarities, check context, and essentially prepare for the next day. This is the source of déjà vu. It's not a glitch in the matrix, it's a brief flash, a split-second data transfer, where your consciousness recognizes a pattern, a feeling, or a context that it has already lived through in a previous life. It's a glimpse from the repair frequency trying to adjust your current life's context and daily struggles. Take a quick second to like the video and subscribe. It makes a huge difference and helps the channel to grow immensely. Thank you so much for your support. This brings us to the most fascinating part, the dreams. If deep sleep is the reconnection to the source, then dreams are the reflections, the necessary chaos that happens when your consciousness re-enters the body. Hypnagogia and the internal memory filter of the brain kicks in. Here is the thought experiment. When your consciousness returns from deep sleep, it enters the REM stage, and the transition from deep sleep to the lighter REM state catches the last remaining emotional context, brought back from the consciousness repair frequency, and desperately tries to give it visual form. But the brain has no physical memory of that past life's people or places. So what does the brain do? It scrambles. It receives the pure data packet, say the intense feeling of love or the paralyzing fear of a specific event, and it tries to visualize it using the only data it has available, your current life's memories. That's why your dream scenarios are simultaneously familiar and so strange. You dream a friendly character that you feel an intense, undeniable connection with. That warmth, kindness, and character is the direct emotional memory brought by your consciousness from one of a past life's loved one. Your brain, having no physical record of that person or being, visualizes them using the face of a friendly colleague or a stranger you saw in a coffee shop. You dream a terrible scene where you are being bullied or hunted. That context of terror is a memory of an enemy or a traumatic event from a past life. Your brain pairs that terror with a current acquaintance or a figure from a movie. That's why the dream aspects shift mid-dream. You may dream one person and suddenly it becomes another person. As the brain doesn't have the real visuals of the brought memory context, it builds it into a familiar figure, as named already, but shifts the figure mid-dream, depending on the context, to better align with the real brought sensory. The entire dream scenario is a distant memory, a context brought by your consciousness, while the actual visual appearance is your brain attempting to give form to a memory it doesn't physically possess. Dreams are a translation error between the limitless context of the soul and the limited visuals of the physical brain. They are the confusion that keeps us grounded here, preventing us from remembering who we truly are. If this thought experiment is true, then the moments where you dream about a loving connection and wake up deeply wishing you could go back to be with that person, that's not just a nice dream. That's your consciousness momentarily connecting you to the context of a loved one you lost in a previous life, using the tools of your current life to visualize their essence. This ability to witness the manufactured chaos of your own brain and to recognize the emotional core beneath the visual disguise is the truest insight you can gain into yourself. It confirms that a part of you is actively storing and repairing context far beyond the lifespan of this single body. If you like this journey into the nature of consciousness and the reality of the dream state, check out this philosophical video about the master consciousness web theory and find out where possibly our consciousness goes when the time is up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next deep dive into the nature of reality and self. Thanks for watching.